What the Epstein case reveals about power. Epstein is often described as a monster, a criminal, an exception. But if you look closely at the facts, the most disturbing part of his story isn't who he was, it's how long he was protected. Epstein didn't start as a billionaire. He began as a high school teacher in New York, no clear college degree, no elite background. Yet somehow, he rose into the highest levels of wealth and influence: private jets, mansions, islands, presidents, royalty, bankers, and scientists in his contact list. That alone should raise questions, but the real lesson begins when we look at what happened after he was first caught. In 2005, Epstein was accused by multiple underage girls of sexual abuse in Florida. Police built a serious case. There were dozens of victims. The evidence was strong. Yet in 2008, Epstein didn't go to real prison. Instead, he received a secret deal, a deal so generous it shocked even other prosecutors. He served just over a year in a county jail and was allowed to leave 6 days a week for work release. While his victims lived with trauma, Epstein went to his office every day. That wasn't a failure of the system. That was the system working for someone powerful. This is where the Epstein case stops being about crime and starts being about power. Because power doesn't operate on morality. Power operates on usefulness. Epstein wasn't just rich, he was connected. He had information. He moved between billionaires, politicians, intelligence figures, and financial elites. He wasn't valuable because he was innocent. He was valuable because he was useful. And when someone is useful to powerful people, rules start bending. That's the first truth the Epstein case reveals. The law is not equal. It is flexible around power. Ordinary people get punished for crimes. Powerful people get protected until they become inconvenient. For years, Epstein's behavior was an open secret. Journalists heard rumors, police had reports, victims tried to speak, but nothing moved fast, nothing escalated. Silence surrounded him like armor, not because nobody knew, but because too many people did. That's the second truth. Silence is how power protects itself. Silence isn't just people staying quiet. Silence is institutions moving slowly. Silence is media being careful. Silence is people choosing careers over truth. When power is involved, time becomes a weapon. Delay, confusion, distraction, forgetting. And Epstein stayed protected for years, until he didn't. In 2019, Epstein was arrested again, this time in New York. This time, the case was federal. No secret deal, no easy exit. Suddenly, the same system that once shielded him now turned against him. Why? Because he was no longer safe to protect. That's the third truth. Power protects you only while you are useful. The moment you become dangerous, you're disposable. Epstein died in jail before his trial. The official ruling was suicide. Whether you believe that or not isn't the point here. The point is this: the system that once bent to protect him did not bend to save him. And that's how power really works. It's not loyal, it's not moral, it's strategic. It protects what maintains stability and destroys what threatens it. The Epstein case also shows something else. Power doesn't need to be organized to be effective. It just needs shared interests. No secret council, no movie-style villain room, just people who all benefit from the same silence. Bankers who don't want scandal, politicians who don't want exposure, institutions that don't want distrust, media companies that don't want lawsuits. So nothing moves until the story becomes too big to contain. Then suddenly, everyone acts shocked. But they weren't shocked. They were just late. That's the fourth truth. Power never panics early. It only panics when control is lost. And when control is lost, narratives change. Epstein goes from eccentric financier to dangerous criminal, not because new facts appeared, but because protection was removed. That's the real lesson. The Epstein case reveals that power isn't about justice. It's about stability. It's about control. It's about minimizing damage to the system. And when someone threatens the system more than they serve it, they're gone. This doesn't mean every powerful person is guilty. It means the structure of power itself is built to protect itself first. Not truth, not victims, not morality. Power. So the Epstein story isn't about one man. It's about a pattern where the law bends, where silence is strategic, where usefulness equals protection, and where danger equals disposal. Once you understand that pattern, you start seeing it everywhere, in politics, in business, in media, in history. The Epstein case didn't expose a monster, it exposed the rules, and those rules are still in effect.